Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda. In today's video we're going to be doing a Sims 4 speed build, and after watching the recent Sims 4 trailer for the new Enchanted by Nature pack, I really wanted to have a go at building a fairy house. Now I want to start off by saying, when you see me building this part of the exterior, you would have seen that I added on a third floor but then deleted it. I don't actually know why I deleted it, because my plan all along was for that to be the bathroom. So further along in the video, after we've done the interior for the living space and the bedroom, we do come back in and add that third floor back in so we can add on our bathroom. I just thought I would mention that. I was clearly really excited to just jump into this build, and my brain just went a little bit mushy there and I deleted that third floor. But I had so much fun doing this. I really can't wait for the new pack to launch. I don't remember the exact date that it launches, but I know it's next month, and I think it's going to be a really fun pack, especially if you play the game and you like occults and things like that. I'm not a big gameplay in The Sims 4, but I love building, and I think this pack is going to come with some really fun items. Now, talking of packs, I don't actually have all of the packs. I think the Realm of Magic pack would have been a good one to have for this build, but it's not one that I've actually got added to my game yet. It was very recently my birthday and I have some birthday money left over, so I'm thinking of going through and buying myself some new packs. Do let me know which ones in the comments below that you recommend. I have a lot of this expansion packs. It's kind of more like the game packs, the stuff packs and the kits that I don't have all of. So if you have any recommendations, I'll pop them below and I'll definitely check those packs out, because I know The Sims brings out quite a bit of content quite often, so sometimes, especially with kits, it's hard to keep up with adding them to the game. Jumping back into the build, with this build as well, I decided I would play around with terrain manipulation. This isn't something that I've done very often in the game, so I kept it fairly simple, but I quite liked how it turned out, and it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. But yeah, I definitely want to get myself out of my comfort zone when it comes with building and try and do a bit more things like this. So adding on things like ponds and water. We are talking of ponds, we're going to come in and add a bit of water to this side of the build, because I kind of wanted to have it look as though this build was built into like this hillside and then also had a little bit of a pond coming off of the side of it. I wanted it to have a very secret garden kind of feel. It kind of does have a little bit of a witchy vibe to it as well, so if you didn't necessarily want it to be a fairy house, I think it would work for that kind of theme too. I just wanted it to have the outdoors, especially that very enchanted nature feel to it, as I love that vibe in general. So when I was watching the new trailers for the new packs, I was kind of like, oh, this is very me, and it just made me want to open up my game and kind of create something with that style. I absolutely loved doing the landscape in here, just adding in different trees, kind of using some objects that I don't normally use as well, like some of the plants, the little mushrooms and things like that. They're not things that I normally add to my landscaping, because a lot of the time I tend to build more traditional looking houses and family homes, so it was really fun to add those in. I did grab lots of things from Debug as well, and these particular items for Debug, I come across them and I was like, okay, they are perfect for this house, especially where we've got this half of it coming out of the water, because then they kind of look like reeds that have grown up the build. So I really loved that. Now to the left hand side, we do a lot more landscaping, but unfortunately I didn't record that. It was very similar to what we're doing over here on the right hand side, so you're not necessarily missing much, but I paused recording because I was talking to my little girl as we were building this. She was kind of sitting next to me giving me some ideas, and I paused recording to do something with her and then carried on doing the landscaping and basically forgot to unpause recording, so you did miss that part of the landscaping. We're now going to jump back to the exterior a little bit more, and I didn't want to put stairs on the inside of this build, partly because the room space is quite small. Two, because we are working with diagonal walls, and I don't know, stairs, unless we'd have put them right in the middle, or it just wouldn't work, I don't feel. So I decided to go with ladders on the exterior. And what I was thinking is, if a fairy lived here, I'm sure, or I hope anyway, that in The Sims they're going to be able to fly from floor to floor. I don't know if that's even going to be possible, but I thought in real life, or in real fairy life, they would be able to fly from floor to floor. So I added ladders on the outside anyway, but that was kind of what I just envisioned, them flying out of one window up to the next floor. But we're going on into the kitchen and living space, so this is what you walk straight into for the build. And I really loved how this turned out. I went with quite nice wood tones. I went with a dark wood floor. I played around with the cabinets. You would have seen there, I changed them. It is only quite a small living space, and I wanted to pack as much in it as I could. I wanted it to look quite cluttered, but I wanted it to look cluttered in the way that this fairy has just got some really random stuff. So I kind of tried to pop in a few useful items and then some random things. I kind of imagined these fragrance bottles being more like potion bottles, or things that the fairies would collect in nature, like from foraging and things like that. So I added those in, and then I did add in just some random items. I popped down the pet treats because I do imagine a pet living here as well. So further along you will see we also add in some bowls and a bed for pets as well. And then, as you can see, we're going to move away now from doing the kitchen side and come and do the more living room side of this room. And I wanted to make sure that there was a fireplace, so that when the fire is lit, it would feel so nice and cozy here, especially where you're kind of like out in the countryside. I just felt as though it would fit the vibe. By the way, we are building in Henford-On-Bageley. I just felt as though out of all the packs I had, because like I said, I don't have all of them, I felt as though this was the best world to build in for now. But I'm really excited to see more of the new world that we're going to get with the latest expansion pack. And I think I read, or I think it was mentioned maybe somewhere in the trailer or something, but that it's based on, the new world's based on Ireland, which is so amazing. I think that's just going to be a really fun addition to The Sims. But this room, like I mentioned, I wanted it to be cluttered up as much as possible, so I'm just adding in lots of random pieces. I added in a few like creative hobby things as well. Down here we've got the guitar and the crafted violin, and then upstairs I do add on the flower arranging table and the artist easel, I think it is, because I wanted to imagine that this is quite a creative fairy, so I thought that they would be fun to add in. I did still want to add in a little dining table. I wanted to add it in outside, but I haven't really done anything as such with a garden, and I didn't feel as though it worked very well on their balcony, so I squeezed it in here. I have play tested this and I didn't have any issues. There was a few little things I needed to scoot over with the clutter, but other than that I didn't have any issues. So we're then going to move on upstairs, and I didn't want anything in this space to be matchy. So upstairs has kind of got quite a different colour scheme to downstairs, and I quite like that. Up here looks a little bit more fresher and brighter compared to downstairs. I loved layering up the rugs. This is not something, I love this look by the way of layering rugs, but again, when I'm building a lot of traditional style houses or modern family homes, I don't feel as though it's a look that I can personally get to work, but it really worked here for this fairy home. I kind of imagined that she's actually the kind of person that goes around and buys lots of her stuff from things like car boot sales or second-hand shops. So I wanted everything to look a little bit mismatched, but then maybe with a few things that she has purchased, so those sort of items do match. Like the wood tones on the mirror and the easel match, but then they don't necessarily match the rest of the furniture in the room, and I really liked that style for this kind of build. I wanted to also make sure that there was a few plants inside as well as outside. So in each of the rooms we've got the ivy curtain, I suppose you could call it, and I loved how that looked. I added down this bubble machine as well, as I kind of just thought this would be something fun for a fairy to use. I forgot to add down a stool for it though. It's not something that I've ever gameplayed with, so I weren't sure how it would work, but when I was playtesting I realized you needed some kind of chair, so I do move that mushroom stool near it, and I think you can use, it worked anyway using that, so I think that's what I done. I know I added a stool anyway. You'll see further along in the screenshots. I built this a little while ago and I've only just got around to editing it this week, so I forget things. If I don't edit, if I record a video and I don't edit it straight away, I end up forgetting because I'm probably working on my next build. But I'm just coming in here now and adding some lighting around these two rooms. I went for the candle ones. I wanted to kind of have a very live off the land kind of feel to it. So I wanted to add in some items that would work with that, like candlelight, for example. And then we are going to come out and put some items on the balcony. Now, obviously, it's quite a small space, so I didn't add in loads, but I added in the little barbecue, as I just imagined that she would enjoy grilling outside. I wanted to come in and really go to town with adding some landscaping to the actual build. So we're adding in some wisteria growing up the building, and then some of this leafy looking ivy from the cottage living stuff, so the cottage living expansion pack, because I really wanted it to make it feel as though it was kind of trying to blend in with the surroundings, and again it got that very nature feel. This is where I completely realized I went to go upstairs to do the bathroom, and then I was like, oh yeah, why did I delete the upstairs? So I re-added that back in, and then I wanted to do the same having the balcony. I was just going to have it to the one side, but I didn't feel as though it looked right, so I did bring it out so it matched all the two on the first and the second floor. And then I was a bit picky again with trying to think of doors for this. I ended up going with an archway, which I don't 100% know if it would work for a bathroom. I was going to box it in, and then I just kept changing my mind, and then I ended up settling on a door. So it worked in the end. I got there in the end. Obviously I did have to add another ladder so you could get up to this floor, and then I just come and grab some more wisteria and things like that, so the top half of the build obviously matched the middle and the bottom. And then this space up here, I didn't just want it to be a bathroom. I kind of imagined it being a bit of a wellness space. I imagined that this fairy is very into self-care, maybe caring for her fairy friends as well. So I used quite a few items in here from the spa day pack as well, just to kind of make it feel a bit more than just a regular bathroom. So in this little section I added in the bath and the sink so that there is that separate toilet space, but then the bathroom is quite large and open plan, so I popped down just a few little items. No, I don't think necessarily all of them are objects that you can function. For example, the little pedicure bowl, I presumed you could use that in gameplay, but when I was testing I just couldn't click on it at all. I don't know if that was just something going on with my game, or if that hasn't got any like gameplay functionality, because I know obviously the Sims add lots of bits for just clutter and decor purposes. But I added in this wooden bath, and then I added in the little face mask pack thing down on the little ottoman that we're going to pop down in the corner. But I just wanted it to look a very sort of nice space. Out on the balcony for here I added down the yoga mat as well. I really love that item lately, so I've added it to a few of my builds. And then I just grabbed a few other things from the spa day pack. I don't ever really use this pack very much, so it was fun to kind of grab some items from that. It wasn't a massive space and I didn't want to make it feel too cluttered up here, so I kind of just left it as this, and I quite liked how it turned out. I still feel as though it's a lovely space to come and have a bath in, especially where you can look out in the windows, would look out into the kind of pretty Henford-On-Bageley world. But we're just going to finish up by adding in some decor in here. Just add in some last minute clutter bits and things like that. Of course we need a robe and some towels, and I tried to just fill the space a little bit more by adding in some shelving and things like that. And then that, guys, that's going to take us to the end of the video. I really hope you all enjoyed this one. If you have any build suggestions, do let me know in the comments below, and let me know in the comments below as well if you are looking forward to having fairies in The Sims 4 and what kind of gameplay ideas you would do with them, because although I don't massively play the game, I think I'll have to have a go with fairies at least to see how they work and what you can do with them. But once again, thank you all so much for watching. This build is available to download on the Sims 4 gallery. All the information is in the description box below. If you did enjoy today's video, please do give it a thumbs up, and if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would absolutely love it if you hit that subscription button. Lots of love. Bye bye.